Two things happened recently. First one is kind of not that important. A video popped up in my recommendation that is called I Don't Dream Up of Spring, Why I Have Given Up on A Song of Ice and Fire by a YouTuber called Amazing Worlds, who has great content, and there is a link on the video below. You should check his channel. He is also a fellow Southern European with an accent, and if you can take my accent, you can definitely take his accent, so give him a watch. And you know what, this video really resonated with me because I feel the same way. I don't dream of spring anymore. I have given up on A Song of Ice and Fire. But also something much more important happened, something you may have already heard. I had a video about it yesterday, that Kentaro Miura, the creator of the manga Berserk, passed away, and Berserk is one of my absolute favorite works of fiction ever. And I had a video yesterday. Also, I had my first shot recently, and I have just recovered from the after effects, okay? So I hope this video turns better than the one yesterday, because I was a bit dumbstruck and also still a bit hungover from my fever and, you know, the after effects of the shot. Why are these two works, Berserk and A Song of Ice and Fire, so important? Well, I have told some time ago about the story about how I was bullied savagely by the Silmarillion when I was 12 years old. I know you're already laughing at that, whatever. There's a link somewhere up there if you want to watch this video too. But then I went and watched Lord of the Rings on the cinema, and yeah, I was like, maybe I should try it in fantasy. Maybe it's not gobbledygook all the time. So I got into very light reads. I read a lot of R.R. Salvatore and his Dresd books, which were a lot of fun. I've tried my hand with Elric of Melibone by Michael Moorcock. Robert E. Howard's Conan stories were an absolute love for me. Fritz Lieber Langmore books, and also I've read some of the modern books of that era, like A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin and Malazan Book of the Fallen by Stephen Erickson. And okay, I'll get some hate for that, I know, but I tried reading the first half. Don't ask why on the first half. There's a reason for that. It was published over here in 2 volumes, and somebody gave me the first one as a present of The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan, and I was not impressed by that. Probably I'll give The Wheel of Time another try. I have a copy of a full copy of The Eye of the World that smells of curry sauce. Long story, alright, we'll get there. Probably another video, but I'll give it a try again. And part of why I want to give it another try is also part of this video, right? But let's not talk about boring books, okay? Let's talk about manga and anime, because back at the same time I happened to watch a great anime. It was called Berserk, the 1997 one. I'm old. This happened around 2003-2004, I guess, and this was the most amazing thing I have ever watched. Not exactly, but it was amazing, alright? It kind of married the two things I loved in the books I mentioned above. There was this action-packed darkness that I so much liked in Conan or Elric, the Sword and Sorcery stories, and also there was the deep characterizations and the political intrigue from a Game of Thrones of modern fantasy books. So I was hooked. I used to describe Berserk as what if Conan was a character in a Game of Thrones, but there were Cenobites and Deadites instead of White Walkers. And you get that. You get why it's awesome, right? Then, after I watched the anime and I was curious about what happens in the end, how did the gods end up from the end to the beginning, because it's a media res, I started reading the manga, and the detailed artwork of the manga, the no-holds-barred savagery and grim darkness made it so much better than the anime. And just the fact that in order to portray the big fight scenes in the anime, they took splash pages from the manga and colored them and just had the camera pan on them, is proof enough that the artwork is amazing. And Kentaro Miura put so much detail to his artwork, it's breathtaking. And I could probably try and find some images to show here, but I'm not sure the resolution will be good enough to portray how amazing his artwork is. Alright, so yeah, I was hooked. I was reading volume after volume, and at some point I reached, this point where there were no more volumes and I had to wait for the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the pace got slower. The volumes were coming out more and more infrequently because he was taking some hiatuses for to avoid burning out to other projects because he had some issues. And at some point, I think at volume 32, I took a break thinking, I'll return when there will be more volumes out and I will binge read them. And I haven't returned to Berserk since that day, even though I thought about it and I was like, let's see where we are. Oh, it's 30. He's on 40 right now. So meanwhile, on the Song of Ice and Fire front, I caught up to the books back when A Feast for Crows came out on paperback, and I was eagerly awaiting for the next one, the other half, because A Feast for Crows was half the book and the other half describing the events that happened in the north and in the west, where Dance with Dragons. And I was waiting with the next one. I was on the internet back then in message boards, and I was discussing fan theories and speculating and trying to find out who is the chosen one and all this kind of stuff. Lots of fun. And when the series came out, I was the cool guy who have read the books. Yeah, that's the face of a cool guy. Then, after season 1 of Game of Thrones finished, I read A Dance with Dragons, the really thick book that's right behind me. I'm pointing at it. Oh, I'm pointing at the Elrics there. And I was disappointed because I felt that George R.R. Martin was spinning his wheel. Nothing of importance happened apart from furthering some plots from A Feast with Crows, like the Cersei and the High Sparrow arc. More complications were introduced, and I couldn't see what's the point. You're midway through the books. You're supposed to start closing the plot lines, not opening new ones, George. And the next book was not coming out. The TV show was progressing and we were reaching the end of the published material, so at this point I just resigned and I told myself, you know what, there won't be an ending for the books. Just watch the show and you'll get an ending, and it's alright. You watch the ending, I watched the ending, you know that it was not alright. We all know how it went. And the wet fart that was the ending of A Game of Thrones is one of those moments that will stay in pop culture history. And yesterday it was announced that Kentaro Miura, the creator of Berserk, has died, and I made a video casually joking that Martin will also die before finishing his series, because that's who I am. Sorry for that, I'm such an asshole, alright. And then it occurred to me that yes, you have given up on A Game of Thrones, but you have also given up on ever reading the ending of Berserk. And I never believed I would read the end of Berserk. You know what? I was hoping for that maybe we would get 20 more volumes, so we get to volume 60 or something of amazing Miura artwork, and maybe finally get to a countdown between Griffith and Guts, and also a lot of decompression and very slow pace until we get there. I was not that enthused about it, to be honest. And you know what, nobody knows what's going to happen. Probably the manga will stop there. Maybe they will go the Robert Jordan way, or the Game of Thrones TV show way, when they will have someone else finish it based on the ideas of the creator, but still it's very hard to replicate the work of Kentaro Miura. It's his talent and his attention to detail is so stunning that it's very hard to make something that feels similar. Maybe they can go, maybe they can get somebody to do the art and finish the story in a different style. That would be preferable. There would be an ending of the story according to his notes and his wishes, and it would be like it's a continuation that doesn't try to imitate, and that would be the honest. But regardless of if there are new Berserk chapters or not, Berserk will live in fans' hearts forever, because it's such an amazing book. As the Game of Thrones books, the Song of Ice and Fire books, at least the first 3 books were amazing. Yeah, there is a reason why, or maybe because I think many people feel the same at this moment, give up on some very long and drawn out series. Maybe there are still some Wheel of Time fans watching this video after I said that I didn't like the end of the world. People who did not press the dislike button and left an ugly comment and then left the channel forever, that may have felt the same while reading The Wheel of Time back when Robert Jordan was writing a lot of books where the plot was not moving forward. And I have read somewhere that he was padding out the series, was adding books to the series so he could pay for experimental treatments because of his medical condition, because yes, he was in the savage land of the USA where there is no public health and insurance is a bitch. And I bet Dark Tower fans were also feeling the same way before Stephen King finished it. But you know what happens when you start a very long series and you get to a point, you're binging one book after another, and then you get up to date and you have to wait for the next one. When we're binging the books, we're mostly stable in our lives, and the books are changing very fast, and we feel this progress. We are accelerated by this progress. I mean, back in 2015 or 14, I don't remember exactly what happened. I was binge reading the Dresden Files, and okay, life was not stable in 2015, right? Where I live, it was not a stable year, but I was reading the book one after the other, so I was in the same place and I could get immersed in them. I mean, I finished one, I read the other one, so it felt amazing. And fun fact, I was also finishing Malazan Book of the Fallen in between those books, and actually I was reading one of the books of Malazan, Reaper's Gale. I was reading Reaper's Gale, and I stopped midway through and read Death Masks, because I was looking at it on Goodreads the other day. So yeah, we're immersed into a book series, and every minor shift in the books, every secondary character having a moment or something happening in their lives feels very important, resonates with us. But when you go into the next one after a long hiatus, you're probably in a different place, and this changes the reading experience, because we're not the same when we first loved the books and the characters, and maybe we cannot love them again because we're in a different place, because their struggles are no longer our struggles, or maybe we are closer to the struggles of the antagonists at the moment, and the hero we once loved is now the villain in our eyes. And you know what, trying to remember every minor house of Westeros is fun when you're on vacation and you're burning through the books trying to find out where the Starks will take the revenge of the Lannisters. But it's not so fun if 5 years have passed since the time you read the previous book and you read the long-awaited sequel to the book, and you have to read it in between doing some tricky web development on a deadline, and you just want to relax and you cannot just remember who everybody is because you're very busy trying to remember what its class on your framework is doing. True story. Or you know what, you get a new Berserk volume and it's 200 pages of gods fighting the same demon throughout the volume. Okay, the art is amazing, but it'll be a year or two until you read the next one and the story may progress. Or maybe gods will be fighting the same demon or maybe a new demon. And you know what, finishing a long series really feels amazing. I remember the feeling I got when I finished Malazan Book of the Fallen, when I closed The Crippled God. It was an accelerating moment, and I understand all you Wheel of Time fans, why you love the series, because I keep hearing how the ending is amazing, and yeah, that convinced me to give it another try, because I want to recapture the moment. Even finishing the Witcher books was amazing, and I was spoiled the ending by playing the first game of The Witcher. But didn't matter because it was the end of the story, it was the end of a travel, and speaking of The Witcher, when I played Witcher 3, more importantly when I finished Blood and Wine, the second expansion to The Witcher 3, it was so amazing. I will probably never play The Witcher again, because I feel like that if I restart the game, I will take Geralt away from his happy place that I got there by playing Blood and Wine. And I don't want that. I think that he deserves to be happy there. And yeah, I should probably change my channel name after saying that, but that's how I feel. That's how good a story it is, and what an amazing travel The Witcher 3 was. What an amazing travel every fantasy series is. How you start from one place and get to another, and I get why long series can get so addictive. But you know what, when a creator passes away, the creator you love their work, it changes things. I mean, Terry Pratchett, he passed away and his books were all standalones, okay? But still, he had so many books to write. He was very prolific, he was writing books very fast, and most of his work was excellent. If he didn't pass away, and the way he passed was tragic because he had this amazing mind that was deteriorating. The fact alone that he passes cast a shadow on the body of his existing work. I mean, the idea that I may run out of a new Terry Pratchett novel someday is stopping me from reading the ones that already exist, because I'm like, what if I feel like reading a new Terry Pratchett novel and there is not one? No, it's not the time to read the ones I've got now. Yeah, I'm definitely changing my channel name, you know that. I'm changing the channel name to The Sensitive Geek, alright? So yeah, I really wish I have gotten an ending from... a good ending from A Song of Ice and Fire or from Berserk, two series I did love a lot, and they were very influential to me, both as a reader and as a creator. But you know what, I got a half-baked ending from Game of Thrones, and this ending kind of ruins every other ending of the books, because I didn't deserve that. George, did those two assholes destroy your books? And you know what, there's a good chance I'll get the same from Berserk if there is any continuation of the manga. It depends on what Miura's wishes are, because last year in an interview he said that he realizes that he may die before he finishes the manga, and he is taking care of his health to do so. And an ending is worth half the story in a way. An ending is an integral part of a story. A story needs a beginning and an ending. If not, it's not a story. It's a fragment of a story. But you know what, as the poet Cavafy once wrote in his poem Ithaca, it's more about the journey, not the destination. Sometimes the journey alone is worth it, and you know what, damn it, both in A Song of Ice and Fire and Berserk, the journey was worth it all the way through, no matter how short or incomplete it was. And I think that this matters, and this talks volumes about the talent and perfectionism of both George R.R. Martin and Kentaro Miura. I would love to hear your opinions on this, your ideas. Is the ending more worth it? Do you feel the same way? Leave a comment below. And if you haven't read those two works of fiction, give them a try, they're both amazing. Thank you for watching.